Hi guys, Kevin Lee Jacobs here. Today I'm going to show you how to freeze zucchini. I think you'll like my method because all you have to do with the squash is shred it, salt it, squeeze it, and bag it. So let's get started. If you're going to freeze zucchini, make sure that the squash isn't overly large. Avoid the baseball bat size zucchini. I actually grew this zucchini in my very own kitchen garden from 4 very prolific plants. And what you do is cut off the stem end and the blossom end of the squash. And then you want to grate it on a box grater, or if you don't have a box grater, use the shredding disc on a food processor. That's what I'm going to do. So I want the squash to fit through the processor's feed tube. So I am cutting the squash in half and then lengthwise into quarters. Use the large hole side of the shredding disc. Cover your ears. Transfer the shredded squash to a large bowl. This next step is really important. Add a teaspoon of kosher salt per pound of squash. 2 medium squash will equal about a pound. Then give the squash a toss, just so that all those little shreds get coated with salt. You're going to be amazed at how much liquid comes out. Then dry your hands on a purple towel. It's time to squeeze the squash. Take a towel, a very clean kitchen towel. It could be linen like this one, or cotton, or even a piece of muslin will work. And then you want to put a handful of the squash in the center of the towel, like so. And then grab the towel and with all your might, squeeze, and look at all of the liquid that's coming out. This is the liquid that otherwise, if left in the squash, would render that squash a pile of mush in the freezer. By getting rid of the liquid, the zucchini retains its great texture and super wonderful flavor. Then drop the squozen or the squeezin' or the squeezed squash into another bowl. You might wonder what to do with all of the liquid that came out of the squash. My advice, dump it down the drain. Otherwise, if you could freeze it, just be aware that it's loaded with salt. But if you like salty things, you could add it to soups and stews in the wintertime. You can freeze it in a plastic bag. And by the way, the squeezed squash has the texture of pasta. It's really delicious. Try not to eat all of it. For this next step, grab some 12 by 12 sheets of waxed paper and put them on your work surface. Then snatch a measuring cup and measure out with your impeccably clean fingers enough squash to fit the measuring cup. Then dump the squash onto one of the sheets of wax paper and flatten it into a disc. This will help the squash to freeze faster. And fold the paper over the disc like so. I'm going to put this in the freezer for 1 hour and then I'll be right back. I'm back and my zucchini is solidly frozen now, so I'm going to put these in a bag. Of course, before you put them in the bag, you should label it with the contents and the date. Oh, let me start all over. Then drop the frozen zucchini into the freezer bag. I can probably fit, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 discs into this bag, and then seal it up. And this goes into the freezer. I hope you'll give this zucchini freezing method a try. Again, it really works. And if you have zucchini in your freezer, then your summer squash can be your winter squash too. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.